Gerald Khalil and Koran Blast. What's going on, Koran?
What up, man? How are you today?
All right. Yo, man, those games the other day. We had Buffalo and Kansas City, and we had Philadelphia and Washington, and we got our picks right, but I didn't right, but
Yeah,
I didn't expect Philly to put a double nickel on Washington.
yeah, that was insane. I did not expect that to happen, but I did talk about that a little bit because uh I knew if, their quarterback was in the entire game, it changed it a little bit. The last time they played, it was in the first half, and when he was in the first half, it's like I said, he got hurt. I think he was up 21 points. And he got hurt, and then they slowly came back. So I knew it'd be a different story because you got that double threat of that run that makes that defense think twice. So I think that's the biggest thing that they had to deal with is the Saquon and that running quarterback of Jalen Hurts. So like that's the scary thing about them. But yeah, I didn't think they were gonna get that double nickel. I was so surprised that it just kept running up the way it did.
What was impressive with them also on the offensive end is that they kept working the ball downfield. And then, the first play from scrimmage, though, Saquon Barkley, man, he's just like, I don't know, like a
Yeah.
nuclear bomb. He just hits you. And then it's like, and, you know, you're like Washington, like, what in the heck do we do to stop this guy? And then, so after that, I thought that their offense was just, they just ran the ball, they worked the ball downfield, they hit you with play action. And Philly, it's like Philly had control of that game. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you see how as the game went on, they just pulled away.
Yeah.
And I will just mention this: um, those turnovers by the Commanders didn't hurt. I mean, didn't help.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You know.
And help. That didn't help at all. The biggest thing I would say about Saquon is he's not just looking for 5, 10 yards. He's like Steph Curry. He wanna, shoot that 3 pointer. He's not just looking for, that 15-yard scamper and, get the first down. This dude wants it every time he touches the ball. And that's the difference. So like that dude is a beast. And I was thinking about it, as I sit back and I look at their offense and I think about how the Chiefs, I don't think they've won against anybody as powerful or as offensively powerful as somebody like that. And with that dynamic duo in the backfield, it's kind of scary because Saquon's going out for blood. He wants that ring. He didn't go there to, not win a title. They went there to win. So if Philly gets up big, or if they scored two big touchdowns, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But, just like you said, they're the champs until they get beat. But if they go down big early, man, it's gonna be a whole different story.
Yeah. You're already forecasting the Super Bowl. Those who just waking up. Chiefs also won. They beat the Bills, and it was a good game. Final score, what, 29? No, 32-29. I think that's what.
32-29.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that game, Patrick Mahomes, man, uh, he just keeps coming through. And the thing is that you can bang on Josh Allen all you want, but what did he do? I mean, meaning, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I mean, what did he do wrong? I mean, he
Yeah.
just lost.
Exactly.
He just lost.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
nothing. He didn't turn the ball over. He
Nope.
played well enough to win.
Absolutely.
It's just that Patrick Mahomes was just better. He just made
Yeah.
more plays. And
Yeah.
that game, you know, um, there's one, and I know we talked about this, about how the Chiefs, they seem to get the benefit of the calls. There was one call in that game. People say two, but I say one, was where Patrick Mahomes threw the ball deep, and the Bills corner or safety defensive player, it's like he actually had the ball intercepted, but when they went to the ground,
Yeah, I
uh,
seen that one.
right, the Chiefs receiver actually he, he really didn't have it. The ball hit the ground. All right,
Right.
yeah, and they gave it to Kansas City, and that point Kansas City put it in the end zone, and it gave them a 7-point lead. The conspiracy theorists and folks in Buffalo, they would be pissed. I can understand it.
Right. 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 It was a crazy play. I did see that. I thought it was an interception because the Bills player had two hands on it. Then when it went to the ground, the receiver had one hand on it, and they gave it to Kansas City. So I don't know, man. I talked about it last time we had this call. They're gonna get the calls, man. They are the champs until they get beaten. Josh Allen played a great game. Um, he played to win. They had one play. If they would have got a first down, I think they would have ended the game. But I think they should have been a little bit more aggressive at the line of scrimmage with like a fake or a toss or something to get past them when they're trying to go for that 4th and 1. And that's what turned the game. That one play, if they had got a first down, I think they would have scored.
I
But
believe so too.
that gave Kansas City the momentum. And once Kansas City got the momentum, they got the ball back and they drove down the field. They kicked that field goal and they were up. And that was it, man. Like it was over at that point because they had no time. And then they got the ball back and they were driving and they couldn't do anything. They couldn't do anything. And they had that 4th down and he threw it to his tight end. The tight end had it in his hands, man, and fell to the ground and dropped the ball. So Josh Allen played a great game. You can't take nothing away from him. And he was just stuck on the bench at that point. He couldn't do anything to help his team, but he did everything he was supposed to do.
Going back to that 4th and 1, all right, and they ran it a couple of times, and they got stopped a few times. But the one you're talking about, why not run with James Cook? James Cook,
Correct.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
nasty, and it's like,
Yeah.
give him the ball. I think he would have got it, you know.
Absolutely.
And nothing against Josh Allen. I mean, I know you're talking about, okay, he's a 6'5", like almost the biggest dude on the field as a quarterback. You know, right? And you think, okay,
Yeah.
quarterback sneak, he's going to get in. I mean, or get the first down. But they, I mean, Kansas City, and this is why they're the champs, right? It's because of coaching, in my opinion. Besides Patrick Mahomes coaching, Andy Reid, they knew that Josh Allen was going to go left on his sneaks every time, and they stopped that.
Yep.
Just about every time they stopped it.
Every single time. Yep.
They knew it, and I think um, the Bills coaching staff should have adjusted and should have said, "Okay, we see what's happening. They're going to be ready for that sneak. Let's get one of our backs, James Cook. Let's see what he can do." And like you said, if they would have got that first down, they would have scored. They would have scored, and maybe we're having a different conversation today. You know,
Yeah. I honestly think, they would have scored and the game would have been different because they had the momentum at that point. They were driving down the field. They're at a good field position. I think they were on, if I'm not mistaken, they were on Kansas City's like on almost off the 40-yard line almost. So it's a bad circumstance, man, for that guy. He had a great season. They had one of the best records in the league. But you're playing Mahomes, playing Mahomes in the championship game in Kansas City. gonna be hard to get the calls that you need to win that game unless you are blowing them out the water.
Mm.
You got to be blessed. If it's a close game, they're gonna win.
Right. Yeah.
Close game, you got to blow them out the water. So there's no question.
Yeah.
No call can be keep it close.
And they played a clean game. They didn't turn the ball over, but they didn't play perfect. You have to play perfect to beat Kansas City.
Right.
Now going back to the Philly Washington game, you turn the ball over all those many times, you're gonna lose.
Yeah, absolutely. Guaranteed you'll lose with all of that time happening. My cat keeps jumping on me. Um, with all of those turnovers, man, like that was very surprising to see that happen. Um, for them to get to where they were in the playoffs was great for that team. So Jaden Daniels is still a beast. I think they will have a chance to go back again as long as they keep the pieces together. They may add to that team this season because they did very well. So hats off to Jaden Daniels and that whole team, man. They did a great job this year. I was not expecting them to ball out the way they did. And that kid has a big future.
Yes, he has a bright future, and I mean, if you remember the Commanders, man, they were like the laughing stock of the league for like years, and now you got free agents that want to go there, and they want to go there because of that kid, because they
Yeah,
feel, oh, with this dude, we can win, So Washington, if I'm the other teams in that division, who you have Dallas, the Giants, and Philly, so Philly's feeling pretty good, but
right,
if you're the Giants in Dallas, man, you better step up your game because
right.
it used to be a situation where, we know who's going to finish in last. Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. Not anymore. Like
Mm-hmm.
that team is came around and they're gonna be good for a while, it looks like. And those offensive players came out of nowhere, man. I didn't expect those players to play it the way that they did. That wide receiver was like top wide receiver of one of the year. And their running back was balling all year too. So that overall team was great. Their defense started to step up,
Mm-hmm.
was locking people down. Like they did an overall great job. That coach did very well this year.
Also, if we stick with the Commanders for a bit, you mentioned the coach. They got a new GM. They have new ownership. So if you
Mm,
remember, Dan Snyder was the
yeah,
former owner of that team, and that total losers from top to bottom. And
absolutely.
he sells the team. They forced him to sell the team, and then now the team starts winning. Hey,
Yeah,
a lot of this is all about the front office, man. If you if you
yeah,
if you have bad ownership, that ownership's going to hire someone that's not good, because 9 times out of 10, if you have a bad owner, he's going to want someone who he feels uh, comfortable with, meaning that he's going to be insecure if someone that's good gets in there. So he's gonna hire somebody that's not any good, and then it's just a trickle down effect, right?
yeah, it's a snowball of bad decisions happening.
Yeah, 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 man. So no, hats off to the Commanders, man. They had an excellent season.
Right, absolutely. And same thing with the Bills, man. They had an excellent season too. They beat some juggernauts. They did what they're supposed to do in that game. They just couldn't get past the hump with Mahomes, man. Like it just a tough situation to get through in that climate, in that arena, man. Like that, it's hard to win there. So hats off to the Bills too, even though I hate them, but they had a good season this year. I am a Patriots fan, by the
Yeah.
way.
But you know what? We got 2 weeks. We got Chiefs Eagles rematch of a couple of years ago in New
Oh
Orleans.
yeah,
Yeah. So, I know we have a couple of weeks. You had given me your prediction. I won't say it now, but it's something to think about over the next 2 weeks. But I know one thing: it's going to be a good close game. It'll be close. I think it
I
is.
just so I don't know if I've made my decision yet, but I got just a lot of concern of what uh, Kansas City can do against that offense. So I'm just a little concerned about that with the juggernauts in that backfield and the way that they attack defenses. So Steve Beck's Magnola, he needs to come up with a great game plan to stop Barkley. If he doesn't come up with a great game plan to stop Barkley, there's going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be all on his shoulders to make sure that the team does what they need to. Not saying that he can't, because this is their third Super Bowl in a row, so they've game planned great, and they've done it. So there's a lot of stuff that they need to work on. They need to turn Jalen Hurts into a passer, and stop him from running also.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only way they're gonna, win that game. So just like I said, I haven't made my decision yet. Um, they also gotta win at that offensive line too. Like they gotta protect them guys. They gotta protect Mahomes because their defense is coming too. They're balling out. So
Well,
um,
I tell you one thing here. Coaching edge, you got Reed over Sirianni.
yeah,
Okay. And you got Mahomes over Hurts, right? So they have Kansas City, they have the advantage in two key spots. Um, if you remember, was it last year, Philadelphia, they wanted Sirianni out of there. They wanted him go they wanted him fired.
yeah, you're right.
You
You're right.
know, and hey, they were saved by Barkley. If no Barkley, they're not here, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Um,
Absolutely.
but let me ask you this question here: is Patrick Mahomes the Michael Jordan of the NFL?
Oh, I so for me to put someone in the same light as Mike, um, they have to do great things over a long period of time. Mike was amazing from a rookie all the way through his whole career. Left, came back, and did it again. So for me to call somebody the Michael Jordan of the NFL, I haven't seen it because it's just there's just so much different things that each player does, and I can't put my finger on what player I would say would be the Michael Jordan of the NFL
Okay,
because there's so many different positions. You know what I mean? Like the wide receivers, the running back, the quarterback. There's just so many amazing players, that play a specific position that I can't put my finger on it. But if we're gonna talk about quarterbacks, uh, I would have to put you saying as in right now because of the amount of titles that he has, possibly, but ultimately I would say Brady because of what he did on multiple teams. But Mahomes, if he continues to perform at this pace, we may have to put him in that light of one of the greatest ever. But he has to continue at this pace, you know?
so I'm having a little bit of disagreement with you on that. If he wins Super Bowl again, that's four. Three straight. No one's ever done that. They'll give him four. He's only been in the league for what, 8 seasons? Or is it nine?
Uh Maybe 8.
That's incredible. Just think about that. He's been also um this is his. He's in every season he started, because his first season he didn't start. He didn't start like the full season, right? I think he's gone to the AFC Championship. He may have missed once or something like that. I gotta check that, but it's a crazy stat line like that, because he's gone. I think that the Chiefs have been there what, this year? Okay, last year. Okay, so it's like 7 straight seasons or something like that.
I think so.
Okay, now also think about this. Reason why I'm kind of like leaning towards calling him the Michael Jordan of the NFL. If you remember, when Mike was in the league, you had players like Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone. They never did. They could never get over the hump. And why? Because of Michael Jordan. If you take a look at Patrick Mahomes, you got people like Joe Burrow, uh, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. They can't get over the hump. Why? Patrick Mahomes. Now, I put an asterisk by Joe Burrow's name because Joe Burrow actually did get past them and actually beat them. But you know, you think about it; these players, they're like in that Patrick Mahomes era, right? And it's like they just can't get past this dude, no matter what. Um, and I don't know. I going into the Super Bowl here, and you could put Jalen Hurts on the, you could put him on the list. Patrick Mahomes beat him, right? And if Mahomes beat him again, what is Hurts going to say? Man, this is my second time losing to this dude, especially
Yeah.
when Hurts outplayed him in the last Super Bowl. So I don't know. That's
Yeah.
why I kind of like, and I actually heard someone say that. They say, hey, he's the Michael Jordan of the NFL, and they kind of lined up the similarities there, and I'm like, yeah, it's hard to argue against it.
Hmm. Well, if you put it that way, I could look at it like that, but it's like, I don't know. The charisma, the people were afraid to talk bad to Mike when he walked on the court, right? Nobody's scared of Mahomes. They want to go for his neck. They know they want to sack him. They want to throw him on his throat. They want to tackle him. They want to do all of that to Mahomes. When Mike was on the court, it was like, "Hey, Mike, how you doing? Have a good game." Like they didn't want to mess with the monster at all because they knew what they were in for. And I don't think they have that fear or that concern of Pat Mahomes. It's not just him; it's a whole team. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. I just I can't put him in that light yet. I can't
Because it's
do it.
more of an individual thing with Mike. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but you know what? One thing you can say is when Mike had the ball in his hands in the last second, the other team was scared, right? When Mahomes has the
Absolutely.
ball with less than 2 minutes to go, that other team is scared.
Yeah.
So,
You got a point. You got a point.
yeah, man.
You got a point.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I know it's a thing, man. We get tired of seeing them. It's like Brady. Like, oh man, here's the it was before it was like the Patriots. Like, oh man, these dudes again. Here they are
Right.
in the Super
Yep.
Bowl again. Same, now we're with Kansas City. They're the same thing, but you know what? We are witnessing greatness. We really are. Because we could say, like in our era of watching sports, watching football, we've witnessed Brady, right? And we consider him the best QB, the best quarterback ever. You
Yes.
compare him to the others, like we saw. like, what, Joe Montana and these other dudes, but no, it's Brady. And now we're looking at Patrick Mahomes, and we're like, whoa, this dude, he ain't the best. Brady's number one, but Mahomes, he's gaining. He's gaining with a bullet, you know?
Yeah, he's creeping up there. He's creeping
Mm-hmm.
up there. If he gets this one and he gets 4, yeah, he's creeping up there. Like I don't, take nothing from him, because a lot of the reason why they are where they are is because of him and what he does on the field. So I do have respect for him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just hard. I'm a hardcore Michael Jordan fan and I'm hardcore Brady fan. So for me to for me to sit there and put him in the same light is hard.
Yeah.
That's just how I don't know. It's just it's just like built into me, bro. Like Mike was my dog
Yeah.
and Brady was my dog. You know what I mean? Like and I watched every game from beginning to end of both of those players. And for me to put somebody in that light, like I'm not that excited to watch Pat play. Honestly.
No,
I
I'm
like I
not. I'm
like
not there
yeah,
like that with him. No,
yeah.
but I think
Like
I
I
think basket. But I think the basketball is different though, because see that's the
yeah,
thing with the NBA is more, to me, individual. Because if you like, okay, for example, if you like Patrick Mahomes, you're pretty much like Kansas City. You like the team, the
right,
Chiefs.
right.
If Jordan left the Bulls, which he did, people, when he went to the Wizards, if you remember that, people started, they liked the Wizards only because of Michael Jordan. That's it. He could have
Absolutely.
went to any team in the league, they would have followed him. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just like how they follow LeBron to LA.
yeah,
It's the same thing. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
like I was a Michael Jordan fan. Like I didn't care what jersey he had on.
Mm-hmm.
That was my dog, bro. Like that was my dog. You know what I mean? And anybody try to run their mouth about who's the best, like there's no doubt in my mind that Mike is the number one NBA player to ever live. Period.
Well, you know what? You save that because we're gonna have a discussion on that. And that's a good
That sounds good.
one.
Yeah,
Because
great.
there's a lot of debate out there, but there's not so much of a debate who's number one. To be honest with you, the debate comes at 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where the debate
Exactly.
comes in. But I still would
Yeah,
like to talk about that.
yeah. Absolutely. That'd be very interesting. I'd like that.
So, all right, Koran, man, you have a great night. We'll talk again soon. Conversation piece.
All right, peace, bro.